Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. This is one of the last times that I expect to speak on TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, because as far as I'm concerned, they have run out. But there are those who believe that they have a bright future ahead together. I was listening to a conservative black content creator, and he was comparing TJ Holmes and Amy Robach's situation to that of Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski of MSNBC. And he was of the opinion that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach could come out on top smelling like a rose because Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski came out smelling like a rose. He even referenced the fact that when the public found out that TJ and Amy were in this alleged affair, that the ratings at GMA3 went through the roof. And he's right about that. And I know a lot of that was curiosity seekers, but that was true. But his point of view on this issue was surprising given his conservative proclivities. This is a very conservative black man who often speaks of family values, but in this instance, at the end of his video, he says he was able to take the morality and the emotions out of the situation and just look at the business aspect. Well, he's really sure that this couple will survive after being fired from ABC. Now, he might be right, but I'm giving this guy the side eye. At the beginning of the video, it seemed like he was critiquing the couple like most everybody else is doing. But as that video went along, he started changing his tune, and you really have to wait for it because he pivots and he starts speaking about how they can survive this scandal. Why is he such a supporter? Because he can't stand anything to do with liberals and Democrats. And I would wager that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are liberal Democrats. There's nothing to indicate that they wouldn't be. This shameless couple has been flaunting their affair all over the place. And maybe they have a right to do that. I'm not saying that they don't. But I'm saying to think that they're going to go to another network, because he said that ABC is owned by Disney and they're a family channel and they're very conservative. So they might not have a place at ABC, but they might be able to go to MSNBC or some other network and just glow up. And the really interesting thing is that he's comparing them to a white couple. I thought that was odd. So this is a conservative black man. And apparently he's allowing himself to believe his own propaganda. And the propaganda that black conservatives preach is that America is not racist and black people and white people are equal in this country. Now that's the talking point for the average black conservative. And he seems to think that TJ and Amy can have the same outcome as Joe and Mika. Well, I beg to differ. And not only is the racial dynamic different, but the rollout of these two couples was very different. It is true that Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski were co-anchors on a morning show on MSNBC. They had great on-screen chemistry, just like TJ and Amy, and they obviously became very attracted to each other, attracted enough to begin a relationship. But here's the difference. Joe and Mika came to the stage as wealthy, well-connected white people. Mika Brzezinski's father was very high in American politics. He served 3 presidents and was the national security advisor for President Jimmy Carter. Joe Scarborough was a lawyer, a politician, and a congressman, and he comes from a wealthy family. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are nobodies. They were just employees at ABC GMA3. And with just that little bit of status, they took their marriages very lightly, it appears, and treated the whole thing like it was a big, funny joke. So this very conservative black man believes that because Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski took their on-screen chemistry and turned it into a marriage, and they're still co-hosting a morning TV show together on MSNBC, he thinks that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach can do the same thing. First of all, Mika and Joe were discreet in their relationship. There might have been rumors, but there was no scandal. There were no public shows of affection. There was no on-screen hints and suggestions and innuendos about some deep secret they were sharing that they thought was so funny. There were no tabloid pictures of them flashing all over the country, having a weekend rendezvous in the country, or them hugged up, playfully hugged up and laughing and like they're making everything into a big joke, like I said before. There was no report that anybody went to MSNBC and said something about them having a relationship to the point that it was making people in the office uncomfortable. There was nothing that came out about them. They got divorced. People get divorced. I'm not sure even which one got divorced first, but they got divorced. And then after a period of time, they quietly got married. Now that is the way to do it if you're going to have a relationship. We don't know Mika Brzezinski's ex-husband. We don't know his name. We don't know how long they've been married. We don't even know what he looks like. We don't know anything about him. We don't know Joe Scarborough's ex-wife. We don't know her name. We don't know anything about her. We don't even know the ages of their children because it was not made into a public affair. It was not made into a public scandal. Joe Scarborough was not having an affair with multiple women at MSNBC. He did not have that kind of scandal hanging over his head. We haven't heard anything about Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough's wife being friends, or that his wife was confiding in Mika about problems that she was having with Joe. We didn't hear anything about that. We heard nothing about that. So whatever they did it quietly. And I could even say they did it in order because, again, people do get divorced. And we could wonder, if we wanted to, how much value T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach even place on marriage. T.J. Holmes has been married twice before, and so has Amy Robach. So they should have had some sense of decorum, some sense of giving consideration to their spouses. Even to the point that her spouse had come on the show and T.J. Holmes had called him a friend. This is very raggedy behavior. It's raggedy, it's disrespectful, it's insensitive, and it's hurtful. Those people are hurting behind what these two people are doing. Just because they're not coming out in the public talking about it and revealing their feelings to everybody, those two people, those two spouses are hurting behind what they're doing. T.J. Holmes' wife thought they were trying to work out their issues in their marriage. So to say that this is something that's going to be similar to Joe and Mika, I think it's a real stretch. Well, these are the sort of things that people who think about appropriate behavior don't forget. So the situation between T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach, they really might go on and become a number one hit, a ratings bonanza. They might do that. But the situation between them and Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski is just not the same. I think I would be insulted if I were Joe and Mika and somebody compared our situation to this train wreck that's happening between T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach, because they did handle their situation in a quiet and discreet manner. Now let me tell y'all what I really think about this black conservative. I'm not trying to be mean, but this is an honest assessment. I believe that many black men, and most conservative black men, believe in the fantasy of the white woman saving the black man. When you look at these black conservatives, especially these politicians, but also the businessmen, they are mostly married to white women. Now, I'm not saying other black men don't marry white women, they do. But these black conservative men marry white women, and their allegiance and their alliance becomes the same as the white American man. And in the case of this particular man, he is very critical of anything to do with black people. He is going to take the opposite view of what the majority of black people have. But in this particular case, he is predicting success ahead for this liberal, adulterous, mixed race couple. And to me, there's no other explanation. They believe in the fantasy of the white woman saving the black man. He even gave possibilities of how they could be successful. He said they probably wouldn't work out at ABC, but they might could go to MSNBC. Now, he never agrees with anybody on MSNBC because MSNBC is more liberal, it's more left-leaning. So they could go to MSNBC, or they could get a podcast or YouTube channel. Now, that's going to be their best bet. But he was trying to show ways that these two could be successful. He's not even taking into consideration the damage that these two people have done and are doing. Children are hurt behind this. That spouses are hurt behind this. Probably their parents and in-laws are hurt behind this. Their co-workers are disappointed in them. But this conservative black man believes that this couple has such great chemistry that the public is willing to overlook all of the damage that they have done and tune in to watch them because of their great chemistry. They might be able to make the relationship that they have work, but I don't see this as a happy ending kind of story. They might rise above the scandal and become the toast of the country, but it's not a good look. It just is not a good look, and no matter how you spin it, it's not a good look for people who believe in treating other people the way they want to be treated. I did not call the name of the conservative content creator that I was speaking about in the video, but I am going to put a link to his video in the description box, and if I forget to do it, somebody please remind me so you can watch the video for yourself. And in fairness to him, I do believe he is married to a black woman, but there was too much of that white woman savior fantasy in his commentary for me. And I'm just a bit surprised that a conservative black man would be trying to navigate a success route for TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. And I'm also surprised that he's trying to equate their situation with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski's, because they're not the same. Okay, I'm expecting this to be the last time that I talk about this TJ Holmes character, but we never know what's going to happen next. But anyway, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.